again to the Shepherd's Podcast. We have gone home and rested for a week, washed the clothes we were in last week, and put them on again.
Back on. This is my Monday clothes.
Yep.
My Monday outfit.
Monday outfit, even though it's a holiday. Will we drop this on a holiday? Because it's Labor Day? Or the next day?
It'll probably drop on Tuesday.
Probably go on Tuesday.
Hope you had a great holiday.
Yeah, I hope you had a fantastic Labor Day. All right, so we're going to get right into pick'ems because we haven't really been doing this long enough to have Listener of the Week yet.
No, and we're not sure who won last week when we do this. So.
Right, so we're going into this blind.
But I think we're good. I think we're good this week.
Oh, this is Cupcake Week.
I think, this is let's give somebody $1 million and let us beat them up week.
Yeah.
We don't know the game day game either.
Okay, well, I don't even need to see anything. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now. North Carolina, South Carolina, Clemson, Tennessee.
Yeah, I think
there's my picks.
I think mine are the same.
Yeah, I don't know who week 2 is going to be.
Although, if this is airing on September 2nd, we're only 2 days away from the start of the NFL regular season.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, you can't. There is a Thursday night. We could do that Thursday night NFL game. So when this airs, and Daniel can edit this if he needs to, but when this airs, September 2nd, there's a Thursday night game, September 4th.
All right, who's playing? We'll add that to the list.
Hold on, let's see here. Got to try to navigate
last year's Super Bowl.
This new NFL app. Oh, Cowboys Eagles.
Oh, Eagles.
All right, you want to do the Friday game because there's a Friday game too.
Who's that?
Chiefs Chargers.
Oh, that may be more interesting. Chargers pretty good. Where's that at?
Yeah, I believe it's in San Diego. No, Sao Paulo, Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all going to depend on the officiating crew, but
that game is streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Chiefs.
I'm gonna on the college games. I'm gonna stick with the favorite: South Carolina, North Carolina, Clemson, Tennessee. I'll take the Eagles to beat the Cowboys, and I'll start with the Chiefs beating the Chargers. But I don't know. You just won't know until they're about 3 games in the season. Who's what?
I would say all of that.
You agree?
Yeah. Do you want to know the latest conspiracy theory?
Sure.
Taylor Swift. That's Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Yes, I've heard that.
Taylor was on.
Your daughters told me that.
Taylor was on the other famous podcast besides this one with the Kelce brothers, the New Heights.
Okay.
And she does this thing. She drops these little Easter eggs. And she said some things about when I'm on the internet, 60% of the time I'm looking up sourdough recipes. I'm not reading the comments or whatever. And there was several other things that
alluded to.
She is the halftime performer for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
So what I just said about I'm looking up sourdough, 60%, it's Super Bowl 60, and it is in San Francisco where the mascot's name for the Niners is Sourdough Sam.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there going, dadgummit, if it's the Chiefs because she's performing at the Super Bowl and Travis is going to propose at halftime.
It's like WWE.
Give Josh his ring.
Like WWE. It's not necessarily fake, but the outcome is predetermined. I heard somebody preach that.
It's predetermined.
I was in Italy. I heard
you still got to get in.
I heard it was predetermined.
You still got.
Okay, let's do this. And of course, you guys give your picks. I don't know if y'all disagree with any of those or not.
I'm just going to go opposite.
Okay, you're doing opposite.
You said Eagles and Chiefs, didn't you? But
yeah.
I'm going to go opposite. Just I need the points.
Okay. It's early in the year. It is. Who's your favorite NFL team this year? We picked a college team. Who do you look NFL wise? Yeah, I expect them to be there to end.
The Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
It's time. I'm not being a homer, even though I have a buffalo flying through a table on my laptop.
Yeah,
it's time.
You're married to a Buffalo Bill.
I've been grafted into the vine, man.
Yeah, okay.
It's time.
I think they'll be in the hunt. Daniel?
I like the Vikings. I think they're intriguing this year.
If you ask me for my Super Bowl today, I'd say Buffalo, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't think San Francisco.
Well, their receivers are hurt a lot.
San Francisco's, they lost Debo.
Or Buffalo, Philadelphia.
I haven't ruled out Detroit. Here's where I'm at. I'm curious to see what Detroit's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were good last year, and they did pick up Debo. And so I'm curious about those two teams to see what they do. I think Cincinnati, is this going to be the year that they kind of pull it back together? So I don't know. I don't really have a preseason favorite. I'm curious to see how these things come together. I'm feeling a little better about watching pro football than college. Pro football, I expect you to get paid a lot of money. And I expect you to be under contract, and when that contract's up, you're going to go somewhere else. That's just college, the way the NIL has come out, the way guys are transferring mid-season, portal. It's so out of control that it's not enjoyable.
Michael Lombardi is the GM from North Carolina, and he was the one who he's got 6 rings with Belichick,
right?
And he's the one who said, we're coming in to run this like an NFL program because you got contracts, you got negotiations, you got agents. He's like, this is what it is. This is the day and age you live in.
This is what it is. And really, college teams anymore are mercenaries.
Yeah.
They don't go to school there. Kind of makes you want to look at Division II, Division III, and maybe say, this will be more enjoyable because these are real students of that
athletes.
university. Yeah, real student athletes. All right, so
today,
ChatGPT is saying the Chiefs.
See, the fix is in.
Yep. Yeah.
I was just going to do a little wrap up on the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
Now you know the way we're structured. You were in youth services, so I preached the 10 Commandments this summer.
Yep.
One I had never preached on since I was a children's pastor. I had never preached or taught on 10 Commandments. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where, okay, I've been preaching here 25 years. Maybe I should, And I think the thing that got me was I started looking around and nobody else preaches. I was like, wait a minute, nobody else is doing this. And then I thought, so we have a conniption fit because our schools take them off the walls and our courts take them off the walls of the courtroom.
Right.
But we don't necessarily
preach them.
We don't necessarily have them going on in our place either.
But didn't you mention that to somebody? Somebody asked what you were preaching through the summer, and you said that, and you got some. Really? Like you got?
I did get some. I was in a state council meeting, and it was like, "What are you preaching? What you preaching?" And I said, "Well, I'm fixing to start on 10 Commandments." And it's kind of really. Yeah, it's in the Bible, It's Exodus and I'll say right now, honestly, up front, I did not anticipate. First of all, the difficulty in preaching it, and I say difficult, the challenge. I didn't anticipate, especially as I dug in and was studying and reading. I did not anticipate the depth, and what I tried to do. Patterning after others who I was able to come across who have done this, I tried to bring the New Testament aspect of the commandment front and center. You have these 10 Commandments that God's given to His children as He establishes His nation, and it's kind of the parameters. Here's the guidelines, guys. But then you get in the New Testament, and Jesus says right away, I haven't come to do away with those commandments. I've come to fulfill them. And as He teaches the Sermon on the Mount, He's like, not only have I come to fulfill them, I've come to tell you, you're not even close. You're happy you haven't murdered someone. Wait a minute.
If you're angry.
You got angry and you called him a fool, and you're already guilty. You're happy you didn't commit adultery. But if you looked. And so when you look at it from there, trying to take things or thou shalt not and put the positive aspect of it in.
Yeah.
No other gods before me. But the positive aspect of that is you don't need any other gods.
Right.
I mean, that's the positive aspect of that command. I'm going to give you everything you need. I'm going to provide for you everything you need. You don't need any other gods.
Right.
The those first four deal with how we relate to God. No other gods before me. No graven image. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that aspect of it because there, and I don't remember the New Testament reference that I use, but just the reality of, we say that's not swearing, which it is. You don't want to swear or take God's name in, but when someone gives you your name, when someone gets married, mm-hmm. I give you my name. That is the epitome of commitment of the groom. My name is now yours.
Yeah.
And so God gives us his name, but then we're wearing his name on our jersey, so to speak.
Right.
So everywhere we go, we represent the name that we've been given.
Right.
When you go to when you go to McDonald's and they mess up your order, yeah, but you're still representing the name.
Dr. Malden used to tell us, Daniel knows where I'm going.
Yep.
Doc used to tell us before trips, everywhere you go, you represent the Lord.
Yep.
You represent Lee University.
Yep.
And then he would go further. You represent Paul Kahn. You represent the general overseer of the Church of God. Yep. You represent your pastor. Like, he would talk to us about the way you handle yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on you and all of those people.
Yeah, it is. But primarily, we could just stick primarily in this world. We're wearing the jersey. Mm-hmm. We're flying the flag, and people are watching.
Yeah.
And, a couple weeks ago, the Tampa Bay Bucks cut Deion Sanders' son. I don't know if you guys... Not the one that everybody... Shiloh.
No, Shiloh. Yeah.
Because at the end of a preseason game last quarter, he punched... were they playing the Bills?
I don't remember.
They were playing somebody. And the guys were blocking each other, and he rears back and punches the guy.
Yeah.
And the Bucks' answer was, we don't need this type of representation. This is not... And that's kind of the thing, not only of taking the Lord's name in vain, am I misrepresenting his name?
Well, and that's one, not to keep talking about sports, but and not to get into politics or whatever, but that's why guys like Colin Kaepernick and Cam Newton, even though they have the talent, teams won't touch them because of the baggage that came along
personality.
With. Yeah.
Recently Dr. Dobson died.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last few years, through a member of our church, we got to be friends with him and Shirley and spent 2 Thanksgivings with them at NFL football games up in the booth. Just had a great time. They're wonderful people.
He recorded a wonderful video for your 20th.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I almost posted it.
I forgot about that.
I reached out through Craig and he recorded a very nice video for your 20th anniversary as pastor.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
But he told me the story. We're off subject, but we're okay. When has that ever stopped us? Pete Carroll.
Yeah. The Raiders now.
With the Raiders, was with Seattle.
And USC.
And came into Denver and sent word he wanted to meet Dr. Dobson. And so Doc went up. I think they were practicing before the game. They come in on Friday, they do walkthroughs. And Doc went up and met him and talked to him. They had dinner together. And so they're just talking, coach to a psychologist. And Doc asked him about players and personalities. And Pete Carroll said, I can tell based on family background who I'm going to have who's going to have such a big personality that I'm going to struggle with them. He said, I can tell based on once I get to know their family and how they were raised, and that particular thing was and their father's involvement in their life. If they're going to be drama, if everything's going to be drama surrounding them, and I'm always going to be dealing with something, or whether they're going to be just good solid players. And I thought that was, that was a real interesting insight. But that being said, yeah, taking the Lord's name in vain is not just audibly with my voice, but with my actions. You know, am I taking His name in vain? At the same time, I was teaching that this summer, or preaching that. I was teaching on Wednesday night, and I came across, we were doing the upper room discourse, and Sinclair Ferguson wrote about, if you look at, I think it's chapter 15, at the beginning of the chapter, it says that Jesus was troubled. If you hear rumbling, it's just a helicopter outside. I've got a flight.
I love how you looked at your wrist while you're not wearing
I'm not wearing a watch. I've got a flight here. No, it says Jesus was troubled in his spirit at the beginning of the chapter. At the end of the chapter, it says, you know, that he was at peace and glory and it's a totally different disposition. And the only thing that happened between the beginning and the end that could have affected it is Judas left the room. It's in that chapter that Jesus says, whatever you're going to do, go do it quickly, and Judas leaves. And suddenly, the room that was filled with turmoil was filled with peace and calm. And Ferguson's observation, which I think is brilliant, is every one of us affects every room we're in. You know, the great analogy, and we talked about it, we set our thermostats at, let's say, 70 degrees. But as soon as people start coming in, temperature goes up because everybody affects the temperature of the room. And every time we're all in a room, we affect the temperature of that room, not just physically, spiritually. And his Ferguson's question was, do you make the room better by being there, or do you make the room better by leaving? Is the room better because you were there?
Because it's one of the two.
Yeah, Judas. Is the room better because you were there, or is the room better because you left?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm having, you know, that really, council meetings, board meetings. Is the room better because I'm there, or is the room better if I'm not there? Staff meetings. Is the room better because I'm there? And it all goes back to representing the name of the Lord. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Fourth one, honor the Sabbath, which has to do, really, it has to do with the Sabbath, but also has to do with rest. And I think we preached that day about our tendency to be workaholics and drivaholics and our obsession, and we never, ever, ever just rest. That was pretty convicting. Then you flip the script. First 4 deal with your relationship with God. The last 6 deal with your relationship horizontally. Honor father and mother. I preached that on Mother's Day, didn't I? I think the ladies were out of town, and I went ahead and kind of did an early start on that. And then you get into thou shalt not murder, which you go to the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus said, not just don't murder. Don't be angry. Don't murder them with your tongue. Don't, it goes a whole lot further than that. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Oh, man. I've been waiting on you to get to that one because the timing of that.
I was about to say, I got a little nervous when you said that.
The timing
at a moment
of that sermon was, you just couldn't have planned it any better. Whenever the Coldplay concert thing happened.
Oh, wow. That's exactly right.
That was the next Sunday.
That happened on a Thursday, and on the next Sunday.
It was right in there.
That's exactly right.
I don't usually text you things like this, but I was like, you're going to have to mention that, right?
I think we did, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't ever get into like, hey, listen, this cultural reference, but I was like, I have to tell him because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, that... Boy, that was an interesting moment, wasn't it?
Woo.
Yeah.
That was just, and going to the Coldplay thing, I just want to say, dude, are you stupid?
Yes, he is.
Are you stupid? And obviously you're not trying to hide it.
No.
You're at a public event with someone who's not your spouse. Come on, man.
Right.
I put that in my Come On Man sermon.
Yeah.
But when Jesus took the adultery side, he was like, and whoever looks and he said, in order to lust. And I'd never really got into that. I heard Billy Graham say one time, you can't stop the look. If somebody walks up, you're going to see them.
Right. You can't help the first look, but you can help the second, third.
Yeah. And so, but Jesus said, in order to lust. And that was a little helpful to me, because it was the realization I can look at a lady and appreciate that she's fixed herself up, that she's presenting herself well, that she is naturally, and our church is filled with beautiful people, men and women. I got one whole family. Good grief. I mean, we got our
Thank you.
It's the whole family. Every time you see them, they're gorgeous. The men and the women, but you can look and appreciate that without lusting.
Yeah, sure.
You can say, "Man, he's a good-looking guy."
David Bathsheba. David. I mean, he saw her, but then he looked again.
That was it.
Yeah.
I think I might even mention that in the sermon. It wasn't the first look that got David.
Right.
It was that he continued to look.
Right.
And the thing I've always preached about David is David looked long enough that he was able to describe her to the servants, and the servants knew exactly who he was talking about. So that's how long he looked. But that's how longingly he looked as well.
Right.
Shall not commit adultery, shall not steal. What have I missed? I know I missed something. Murder, steal, bear false witness. That was a pretty good one, because when you look at the Hebrew of bearing false witness against your neighbor, it includes lying, but it's not just lying. It really kind of broadens it to speaking disingenuously to them or speaking disingenuously about them. We have become real good at not telling the whole truth and only telling the part of the truth that makes us look good, as opposed to the whole context of the truth.
Right.
I have learned in through a lot of hard lessons when somebody says to me, "I heard you said this,"
Right.
to immediately say, "Did they tell you the context in which I said it?"
Correct.
I may have very well said it, but do you know the context?
Correct.
From which, I said that. I had a particular case, we had a very tragic situation in a hospital, and I was going to the hospital to see this couple whose hearts were broken, and someone offered me an email that somebody had sent and said, "Do you want to read it?" No, I don't want to read it. That one, they didn't send it to me. I don't want to read it because I got somebody over here really hurting right now.
Yeah.
So I don't care about context, and
Right.
And that hasn't happened, but I'm kind of waiting on that to happen. Anyway,
I thought one good thing you said in that sermon was
just one.
Show me. Well,
just one.
In the one about.
Oh no, I know, because you cut that as a clip.
I literally, in the middle of the sermon, somebody sent me a text. I need this clip. I need this clip. Like, wow. I needed to see.
Is that when our live stream was working? But anyway.
Yeah. Come on. We're taking strays over here. That's all right.
No,
I know
the clip. Go ahead and tell them the clip.
Well, the whole premise and I actually posted the wrong clip that they didn't want, so I had to get them the correct one. But you pulled out the Bible and you said, "Show me here where it says this. Show me here where it says that I can say whatever I want to say."
Yeah, we hide behind this. Well, I just say what I think.
Right.
I just say what I think, but there's nowhere in Scripture that we're given license to say what we think.
Right.
We're supposed to say words that edify and words that build up and words that comfort and celebrate. We're never told anywhere, "Oh, you can just say whatever you think."
Yeah.
Under the name of, being totally honest or transparent. And no. Actually, what we are told is that our thinking is to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So we don't have a license to just say what we think.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's where you get into context.
I had one this summer where somebody asked me a question and I said, "I don't care," whatever. Yep. And then not even an hour later, I got a phone call. Yep. I heard that you said
that you don't care.
I don't care. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't care. Like, that's
it's all context.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all, wait a minute. Let's set, and one of the things I'm learning is when people tell me things somebody may or may not have said, is to stop and say, what was the context?
Right.
Come on, don't just take that soundbite. We're a soundbite generation.
Absolutely.
Don't just take that soundbite. Tell me the whole context of everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Because context changes everything. This is one of the things I have learned in the last 3 years in preaching, 4 or 5 years. And you're giving credit. Tim Keller, in studying the preaching of Tim Keller, everything is built on context. You can't accurately preach a sermon unless you first lay out the context. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with any conversation. So, yeah, the bear false witness. And then we finished up this week with thou shalt not covet, which is where I can't get no satisfaction came from. Coveting being, there's nothing wrong with having wants and desires and goals and ambition. All of it, I think the Bible even promotes that. But when the want becomes the controlling drive of your life, then you're then you're coveting, and then you're actually, thou shalt not covet is actually the perfect bookend to no other gods before me, because the essence is you shouldn't want anything more than me. Talked about how the command, see, now his little short command on the screen is thou shalt not covet, but that's not what it says. The command is you shall not covet your neighbor's house or your neighbor's spouse or your neighbor's donkey or ox or anything. That the command is very specific. Don't look at how I'm treating your neighbors, because it's really you're really insulting God. It's really a subliminal insult to God of you're being better to them than you are to me.
Right.
Don't look at your neighbor's stuff and say, I want that. And you be satisfied in me, which is the problem we have today. We have a generation that is not satisfied.
Ever.
We have more than any generation that has ever existed. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we're more depressed and more anxious and more dissatisfied than, it may be a broad statement, than any generation. Part of that, I believe, is that, and I preach this Sunday, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we are told over and over again, you're not happy. You're not happy because you're not driving this car. You're not happy because you're not wearing our clothes. You're not happy because you don't look like our models.
Right.
You're not happy because, what else did I say? You're not happy because you don't live in this new house in this new neighborhood. You're not happy because you haven't lost the weight that you know you need to lose. Advertising is all about how unhappy you are and how happy our product will make you. This is what you're looking for. Hence, I said that, the theme song for our generation is I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Well, we watched that documentary on Netflix, about the Biggest Loser.
Yep.
And that woman, I didn't know that, she actually died.
Yep.
And she was telling her story, and she was like, I died, and I wanted to go back on the show immediately. Take me back.
Yep.
And she said, not because I want to be on TV, but I thought, if I go here, this is the only way I'm going to lose weight. And if I lose weight, my marriage will be fixed.
There you go.
My kids will be happy. All of my problems will be fixed if I can lose that weight.
And that's the deception.
Yeah.
Years ago, we had a lady who was having the weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
Right now the weight loss is coming by different medications, but then the big deal was the surgery.
Gastric bypass.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And so she's in pre-op. She's ready to go in, and the nurse comes in. And I don't remember which one of our pastors was there. One of them was there, but the nurse comes in and she asked the lady and the lady's husband who was sitting there, do you have any questions? And she said, I've had this surgery. So are there any questions that either of you have that I might be able to answer? And the husband spoke up and said, yes. How did it affect your marriage? Which I would not have foresaw as a question.
Right.
How did it affect your marriage? And the lady kind of bowed her head and said, I wound up getting a divorce. And it's kind of what I thought was going to fix and make me better or make us better might have had the opposite effect. Yeah, we're the generation that can't get any satisfaction. So Paul writes to the Ephesian church in Ephesians chapter 4, and he says something so brilliant. First of all, in regard to coveting, Romans 7, Paul says, it's the command, do not covet, that actually revealed to me I can't keep the law.
Yep.
That was the command that I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
But in Ephesians 4, Paul said twice between 11 and verse 11 and 13, I have learned the secret of being content. Twice he says, I have learned. And it's the realization of you have to learn this. Mm-hmm. It's not, it's not one of these things you come down to the altar at the end of the sermon and say, I need you to anoint me and give me the gift of contentment.
Right.
You got to learn it.
Yeah.
It takes life, living life. It takes maturing, which is not an age factor.
No.
But it is a maturity thing of, I've learned the secret of being content. And then he gave that great statement. He said, I've learned the secret of being content in plenty and in want, which is the great test of whether or not you're content. And then can you be content with nothing? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's easier to be content with nothing than it is to be content with everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, and after that he says, I can do all things through Christ, essentially saying, I've got Jesus.
What else do I need?
And I'm content.
But see,
I don't have to covet or desire anything else.
We take that out of context.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That prayer out of context.
Oh, yeah. I can do all things.
I can do this.
I can get this job. I can win this.
I can get my way.
Yeah,
I can do all things through Christ. That's not what he's saying.
No, he's saying contentment.
Yeah.
I've learned the secret.
Yep.
And I can do this through Christ.
And as long as I have Jesus,
and it goes right back to commandment number 1.
Yep.
No other gods.
Yep.
So, that whole series turned out very different than I thought. I have a whole new respect for the 10 Commandments. I had several people remind me of the Mel Brooks clip where, look at Daniel.
These 15.
Whoops.
10. Yeah.
You should play that. You should plug that in.
That's the outro.
You should plug that in.
That's
See if
come in.
So that's it. Where I'm going now, I tell you what I'm going to preach next. And by the time this drops, I'll already be one sermon into it. Even though I was told at camp meeting this year I'm not supposed to preach series.
No, I did hear that.
Can't do series.
I did hear that.
I can't go there. Which is part of my camp meeting conundrum. One guy comes in one night preaching against skinny jeans, and the next guy comes in the next night wearing skinny jeans to preach. What do you do? Anyway, no, I'm going to do some people watching this fall. I don't know, maybe I'm old. I'm really enjoying just sitting back and watching people. On our trip, aside from everything you'd see, I love those moments where you can just sit back and watch people. People are crazy. Mm-hmm. But actually, I want to go through the scripture and find people that we don't get their name, the unknown servant, and look at their story. Yeah. So I got a few of those I want to look at. And, we've done the doctrine in the summer of the 10 Commandments. I find it's good to balance after I've preached doctrine, go get some stories, and people like stories. And so we'll do that this fall and see what happens. What about you?
I'm enjoying this. No, we're going back now, and it's stories.
Yeah.
We're calling it a series in youth. We're calling them Bible stories, where we're going back to stuff that you've heard a million times.
Yeah.
You may have just tuned out because I know that story.
Yep.
So
you learned it as a child. You never look at it again.
We did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We did the golden calf. And just start to ask questions to get them to think, like, okay, where was Daniel?
Yeah.
When all that was
going on.
Where did, if children of
Working
Israel.
on the live stream.
Yeah. If children of Israel had come out, because while they're receiving the 10 Commandments, while Moses is receiving the 10 Commandments,
they're down there partying.
They're down there partying and saying, hey, build us gods that'll do. Where did they get the gold if they were just slaves? And exploring that. God said, you will plunder
how
the
Egyptians gave them all the wealth when they left.
And then yesterday we just did a look at the book of Jonah.
That's great.
As a whole.
That's great.
And it's funny to hear them come up after and go, I didn't know Jonah wasn't really that great of And
he wasn't a good guy.
things that I never really realized, like going back into 2 Kings, where he tells Jeroboam the second, like, "Hey, God's with you," and Amos comes in, like, actually, no, he's not. He's not with you.
He was Jonah's God was Israel.
Yeah.
And the favor of the people, and he always prophesied good things,
Yep.
A great conversation about Christian nationalism.
Right.
I preached a few years ago, not to say but I remember doing something like that. I called it "There's Still Meat on Them Bones," and it was going back to some old stories that we've known, and some of what I'll do this fall will be that I'll probably do one called "When You Dread Tomorrow," and just basically the servant who went out to get water and the soldiers surround them.
Yeah.
And I love these servants who aren't named, because it tells me this could happen to anybody.
Right.
This could be anybody's story.
Right.
So that's what we'll do. We're at 35 minutes. Let's get out of here.
All right. Well, please send us if you want to hear anything.
Yeah.
If
you questions, I will tell you that when does this drop? September 2nd?
Yep.
All right.
Day after Labor Day.
I'll be like 1 week away from the first General Assembly Agenda Committee meeting. So it's coming. So excited. Can't wait to the Gladiator March.
At some point, Natalie and Lana will be.
That's true. Natalie and Lana want to come in and do the podcast with us.
I do not want to edit that one.
I think I picked a day that they were both going to be out of school.
I don't remember.
We'll try to find it and get it to you, but they want to come in and do it with us, so we'll do that.
Yeah, I would not want to edit that one.
We'll just kind of pick their brains.
There is no edit on that one.
We'll pick their brains about life as 15-year-old girls.
You could do pick'ems on that day, but just pick whatever the next wrestling.
I have to do WWE, right?
Natalie will break. She's texting me right now.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
There you go.
All right. Well, send us ideas, and
please.
We'd love to hear them. See you
Good
next
to be
time.
back.